How should we start it off? Okay.
The two-stroke, I felt like in like say 2001 to 2003, you know, like we had tried so many things on say our 125 that I think that they were almost kind of peaked, you know, like at that moment in time, like we were getting about as much out of them as we could get. I think we were just kind of tapped out. And then when we started with the four-stroke engine, it was brand new and it was fresh, and you know, we went, now that I look at from where we were then to where we are now is phenomenal. You know, like the amount of increase in performance that you've got, but also the manufacturers have done a really good job. The early four-strokes had a not very good reliability. And that means everybody's, you know, like all of them had some issues, and pretty much nowadays all of the current four-strokes that are being sold are a lot more reliable than they used to be. So that's evolution too, so that's good. I don't know. I don't think it. I think the racing would be identical. Like if you took the 250F and everybody switched back to 125s and they all raced 125s, I think, you know, you would see probably the same guys win, and you would see, you know, good battles and bad battles, and you know, you'd see kids still, you know, doing things you thought were phenomenal. You'd see kids still getting hurt. So I don't know that it would change everything. I think the racing would just be similar. Same with if you had 252 strokes instead of the 450s, you know, the speed might be down a little bit, but I think the same guys would win. I mean, I think that it has never changed. I think the guys that are really successful are really successful on mini bikes. You know, like they don't win every once in a while. They win most of all the time. You know, like Carmichael and James Stewart and those type of kids, you know, they won almost all the time when they rode mini bikes, and all the way till they got up, you know. And like, you know, Villapoto was a great amateur rider, and you know, there's all the way through. They're all just, you still really look for the same thing, and some of them excel at a different time, and some of them don't excel as much. But like, still, if you're gonna go pick a kid, you're gonna pick the fastest kid. I think right now especially is the moment where I think the manufacturers, you know, Yamaha, Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, KTM and Husqvarna need to get together, and I think they need to, as a group, decide, the manufacturers, not the promoters, but where we want to go and how many events they think is a good idea, because you know, we've got the GPs wanting to do one thing, and we've got Supercross wanting to do another thing, and we've got outdoor races over here, and then we have select little races in between, and it's getting to be where over here especially, I think the riders are getting tired of riding that many races in a row in a year, and I think it's, you know, paid its price. You know, like you look in our 450 class this year, and there's an awful lot of kids out with injuries, you know, and they've raced and raced and raced and raced and raced and raced, and I think we gotta, you know, like, it's kind of tough because a promoter would prefer to have 30 races because it's 30 opportunities to make money. But if he has 30 events, you know, like, it doesn't mean that those are 30 good events. You know, they're just 30 events. But I think, and this is just, and it's my opinion, it's not me being pushed by one person or another, but it's like the manufacturers, if you add up all the money that they put into the sport for, you know, for salaries, for motorcycles, for parts, for special parts, for travel, for staff and teams and all that kind of stuff, I think they should have a little better voice of how many that we do, because I think if it was limited a little bit, it not only helps the manufacturers a little bit, but it also is going to help the privateer, you know, because a privateer can't maybe do 20 or 30 events a year, but maybe a satellite program could afford to do 20 events, you know, like, so I'm just saying, like, we got to stop doing so many races. We got to figure out the right ratio where everybody agrees it's a good idea, and I think that is right now what I think we need to focus on. 100 years. Probably for tuning, because I mean that's what I started with, you know, is like to get into or to stay in motorcycles. I wanted to learn how to, you know, started with a 2-stroke and then a 4-stroke, but I wanted to learn how to make it go faster and learn how to do things with it, and it just has always intrigued me. Probably that's more important. The race team thing is a part of that, and that's what actually the race team probably keeps me interested, because you build all these parts, and the way we test them is through our. If we don't do good, you know, like I get disappointed that we're not winning or whatever, and sometimes it's to do with, could be the bike or it could be the rider. They're both intertwined, but probably the tuning I've done longer. Happy, surprised, and love it.